Well, I want to introduce you to grip lock ties.
Hi, I'm Creighton King with Grip Lock Ties, and a lot of people know us from the Scrappy video. So Mike and Mark, they're my business partners and good friends, aviation buddies, and I came up with the idea of Grip Lock Ties working on my airplane. So let me tell you about it. So this is my race airplane. I was working on it one day, running new wires along the firewall, through the firewall. And along the engine mount, I ran out of electrical tape to pad my engine mount. So I asked for rubber line zip ties at the local Lowe's, and nobody had them. And I thought, well, I can make that. And then later I was talking to Mark here. We were at Oshkosh, and I told him my idea. He's like, that's brilliant. I want in. How much can I own? I'm like, well, none of it. It's my idea. But hey, having great partners that are great friends, that are innovative like those guys has been really important with growing grip lock ties. Now, let me tell you about grip lock ties. So here's my little demo bar. They're kind of beat up here. So this is an example of like a regular zip tie. See how it'll actually cut through the insulation right there? Okay, so that zip tie will move around. It'll scratch. It'll damage the insulation, damage the paint. So the rubber lining on a grip lock tie makes it secure. So it doesn't move around as much. So you can push it, but it takes a lot more. Now with a grip lock tie, you wrap it around it, put it in place, cinch it down, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot. I need another wire. So this one, you can open it. We're just gonna pop that tab, push it open like that, open it up. We can throw another wire in there if you want, cinch it back down. When you're all done and everything's cinched down, then you come back. You can either cut it short like this so you can still access the tab, or you can flush cut it. And once you flush cut it, now it does something other releasable ties won't do. It becomes secure. Now it's not gonna open up. So grip lock ties are heat temperature improved over regular zip ties. Regular zip ties are only good for 185 degrees. Grip lock ties are rated for 210. Run it around your engine mount. Run it, but don't run it around your turbocharger. So there are limits to it. So grip lock ties, releasable, rubber lined, UV protected, heat stabilized, DuPont US produced nylon. We're a Utah company. Check us out, griplockties.com.
185? Yeah, so empty weight's 1900.
1900, this would be the perfect one for you.
Yeah, and is it battery powered? And so you just charge the battery, but...
Yep, fully electric. It comes with 2 batteries in it. They're 12-volt batteries. You just charge it, and then, so you'll just turn it on. And you'll hook it to the nose of your plane, the nose wheel. Tail, yeah, tail in your case. And then it just goes forward. And it just does it all for you. So there's like no effort on your side. You're just guiding where it needs to go.
I haven't seen this before. What were they use yourself for?
After watching Mike make these scrappy videos, I was kind of intrigued with their product line and stuff. I wanted to come check it out at the Oshkosh Airshow.
Guys, Mike Patey, Mark Patey, for those of you who don't know. Super excited. We are both going to Oshkosh, so we can't wait to see you there. Most of you may already know this. We have Best Tugs aircraft moving equipment. We have our Best Tugs booth there, so we'll be hanging out at the booth a lot. I hope you come see us. We also are launching our Best Scrubber line, part of our Best Aviation products, and we want you to come check out what makes them extra special, very cool. And we have a surprise big black tarp. We're gonna uncover something really cool we've been working on in the background here at Best Tugs. So I hope you guys all come join us. Tuesday, we're gonna uncover something new in the Best Tugs booth. So I hope you come hang out with us. We'll see you at Oshkosh. We got a whole week of fun coming up. Back to work. All right,
Everybody's been waiting for this big reveal through Best Tugs here at 1:30 on Tuesday.
I kind of want to make this presentation as quick as we can, but there's a lot of stuff to cover on this new thing, so we're gonna move real fast. But I kind of decided to call this a new beginning for this this Best Tugs family of ours. We started coming to Oshkosh and have not missed 20 events in a row. This is event number 20 for our entire family. So I want to have my kids here, my 4 sons, raise their hands. Mike's son's over here too. These boys have had their diapers changed in with tents during Oshkosh. All of them. So, and then yesterday while we were, or the setup day while we were here, my first grandson did his first crawls right here. Sorry. So this is a big thing for us. When we started the company, we always wanted to go big. We wanted to do something in the commercial space. If you're looking at this, y'all have figured that out. There's no mystery, but we'll unveil it in a second. But we wanted to do something really big, but we knew if we were going to do that, we couldn't come straight from building and engineering hybrid vehicles for the major OEMs in the world to aircraft tugs. Even though that skill set of hybrid and electric vehicles and moving people and freight down the freeway safely definitely directly crosses over. Some would actually say moving an airplane is much safer and less risky than pushing a family or freight down the highway next to families when it comes to code and software and electric vehicles. So we wanted to do this from the start. It's been over 6 years trying to build a brand, trying to build a name and a reputation that people can say, those guys know what they're doing. We can trust them with our heavy equipment, our heavy airplanes. And this project itself, though its inception was the very start of Best Tugs, it's been over 2 years of hard work and engineering, knowing that this is when it was time to unveil it. So with all that said, I wanted to, oh, there's one other thing I promised I'd do. Just because it's Oshkosh related. Another product of ours that was kind of launched here at Oshkosh was from one of our flying cowboy buddies, Creighton King, and he asked us if we'd bring this to market. So it's another kind of Patey family brought to market. These grip lock ties. These came because a pilot almost lost his life as wires got chafed on regular zip ties in vibration and started an electrical fire. And so there's another aviation product, and they're right over there in the corner, that I really believe will save lives. It's a rubber-lined grip zip tie, so things don't slip and slide and move around. And you should never have a zip tie that's cutting your wires when it's supposed to be keeping them safe, right? So that's that. So a lot of stuff has come from our family being here over the years. But with all that said, we're going to, as elegantly as we can, cut some ropes and unveil this, and then we're going to go through what this tug is real quick. Drum roll. Please don't cut yourself, boys. So this is Best Tugs' latest and greatest. The currently top of the line in our product lineup, we have our Alpha Tugs, which are dragger style tugs, and they clamp and go dragger. Our Bravo Tugs are all the walk behind tugs. We have our Echo Tugs, which was our first ride-on tug. We didn't have room in the trailers to bring one here because this took up the space. The Echo's our first ride-on. This is the Sierra. If you haven't figured it out yet, Alpha, Bravo, Echo, Sierra, it is A-B-E-S. Yes, there's a tango coming. So the Sierra here has quite a few things that make it different. So first I want to talk about what's similar between it and the other guys on the market. So here we are, those who can see the slides. 3 primary things. We're made of metal, they're made of metal. They move really big airplanes, we move really big airplanes, and we run on batteries and they run on batteries. That's about where the similarities stop. So let's go over what makes the Sierra a little different. First off, when somebody gets on the tug, it's a floating platform. The platform actually has suspension, and I know right now anyone who's driven a big tug or worked commercially is feeling it in their back right now, remembering going over the cracks and feeling that jarring. I figure if you're going to be running a tug all day long, you shouldn't have to have your feelings knocked out of your teeth as you go over cracks. So that's a full floating suspension platform for the operator. And I actually think that might reduce some liability or risk for the FBOs as well. It has power steering. I mean, why not? You got these over 3,000 pound pieces of equipment. Why put a really big steering wheel on it and a suicide knob just to give you the leverage to steer it? We're moving in tight places, $1 million aircraft. Let's give it a nice, tight, small steering wheel that you can pull and give it power steering. So coming in here, as long as we're talking about power steering, you'll see we have steer tire aware. on our digital displays here, we tell you where the steer tires are pointing. Because then I've got an insurance friend here that was telling me about another brand of tug, where somebody parked the tug, and it was a Gulfstream, if I remember right. I got the nod. A Gulfstream was parked, a line guy got on the tug thinking the tug was pulled in first and they could get on and advance the throttle and just go straight forward. They got on, advanced the throttle, the side of the tug went straight into the airplane. I believe it was over or almost $1 million insurance claim for that FBO. So we figured, this is where you insert the jokes. When's the best microphone? Okay, hopefully that'll stick with us. So, and as long as we're going to give steer tire awareness to the operator so they don't put a hole in the wall or in front of an airplane, why not do a little bit more with it? And we'll talk about that in a second. So, before we get there, I want to talk about our Plane Smart technology. The tug is actually, can be selected, if you see the screen, on the touch screen. You can enter an employee ID. It'll give you access based on your training, what weight and category of aircraft you can move. Some employees might be able to get on, and all the tug gets some power to do is move the tug. If they hooked up somebody's Meridian, it's not going to move it. Doesn't have enough torque. When they enter a code, now they have a selection of weight class and category. The second they touch that button, the tug in real time, even while in motion, can reprogram the motor controllers, ramp up, ramp down, not to exceed torque limits, auto throttles, auto braking, and traction control specific to the aircraft category they're moving. Because any tug strong enough to move a heavy airplane can rip the gear right off the front of a smaller aircraft. And often do. They do enough stress that we get nose gear shimmies, we feel it in our feet, we get airplanes with the nose gear shimmy collapse, it's engines, it's props, it's really scared pilots when that happens. So let's build it into the tug so the line guy can't just advance the throttle and do some damage. If they advance the throttle, our computer's taking over and saying, I know what you want to do, let me handle the airplane. Here's another one. We figure if we're going to make it more comfortable for the operator, reduce the liability and risk for the FBOs, let's try to make life easier for the tower and other airplanes in the area. So an aircraft always has a red light on the left wing, and it has a green light on the green wing. So as we're taxiing late at night, we can look at an airplane in the distance, we know what direction they're going. A tower can look down and know what direction they're going. But when we move an airplane, the airplane's off. No one has a clue. The tower's up there going, I think, maybe, possibly, while they're at the same time trying to clear an airplane with an airplane on final, they're trying to clear an airplane and say, hold the airplane approaching from your right, or is that tug going the other direction? So the tug, as you advance the throttle, if it's going this way, the red light's on the left, the green light's on the right. And as you pull the throttle to back up, the lights flop. So from anywhere on the airport, everybody knows where that best tug is going, and I think that reduces risk and liability. And when we got that idea, we thought, wow, that's a long time coming. That should have been done a long time before we got here. So, all right, here's another way how we're different. This tug is equipped with GPS, cellular connection, satellite update, and cloud database. So we'll go over a few of the things that's going to be able to do for us. Operator log history. The guy gets on the tug, he enters the code, we know who is driving the tug. We know what aircraft they're moving. They can enter a tail number, and now we have a log what aircraft they're moving. Not only that, we know where they hooked up to it and where they put the dang thing. So when a pilot comes back to the airport and says, where's my tug? They don't march a mile down the way and turn left and realize it should have been marched a mile to the right and turn right. So the other thing, critical operations logging. This is a reduction of risk for the FBOs and operators. So if a pilot comes in, and this happens quite common, they notice flat spots on the tires, it definitely wasn't them. No pilot ever that flies a big airplane skidded their tires. It was the other guy or it's the FBO. So if they say, hey, I got a nose gear shimmy, I think you over torqued my nose gear, or I got flat tires, The FBO can log in and just go, actually, Jason, at 10:23 and 14 seconds, moved your aircraft from this location to this location and never exceeded a drawbar force of 322 pounds pulling on the front of your airplane. It's absolutely impossible that they did any skid marks on your tires. We did remember to undo the park brake. You'll have to look at the other pilot, not you, that did the damage to the aircraft. Okay, error code notification. Error codes are a big thing. Anything that's big has the potential to have an issue. Usually it's battery related. But if there's an error code, it can send a message wirelessly immediately. It could keep operating if it's a soft code, or if it's a hard code. It can shut down to protect the tug or protect the aircraft. But instantly a message comes not only to the FBO, but it comes to best tugs. We know that there's a tug out there operating outside of the norm and can take a look at what we can do to fix it. Battery health is a really, really big issue. So aircraft tugs, the most expensive thing on them is the batteries. And all batteries go bad. Batteries are a consumable. It's the guarantee of electric aircraft tugs. The challenge is, if a set of batteries is $6,000 on a big tug, and some line guy runs it too long, or lets it run too dead, you will buy new batteries. It will cost $6,000. If you do that 2 or 3 times in 1 year, you get really, really upset. So what our tug will do, if some guy's operating the tug, it's doing constant status updates on the batteries, it's going to say, send a text message to the FBO and says, just to be aware, tug number this at this location driven by this person is critically low on battery. We suggest plugging it in and charging it before operating any further. And by that we can save them a lot of money over time. Certainly a lot of headache of going halfway down the ramp and having a tug conk out on a dead battery because they just got lazy and didn't charge it. This wasn't on the slide, but I'm going to mention it. We don't charge the batteries as one big bank of batteries. That's really bad. If one battery's a little bit low and a little bit tired, the other's fully charged, you charge the whole bank of batteries. The one battery didn't get topped off and it ends up going bad. When that battery goes bad, it takes out the whole rest of the bank because the other batteries are overcharged. Did you keep up? I feel like I'm like an auctioneer all of a sudden. We have 1 battery, 2 batteries, 3 batteries. So our battery charger, and it's almost silly, but even down to the smallest things like our battery charging technology is another thing that makes us better. Every battery is monitored independently, charged independently, and so if battery number 3 needs a little bit more go, the other ones turn off at their right time. Battery number 3 gets the extra attention it needs and can't take out the whole bank. Okay, text and email alerts on status. Dual drive. If anybody lives in high ice or snow condition, this is a big deal. There's 2 drive motors up there. And it's not just dual drive, it's dual drive based on the commands from the steer tire position. It does 2 things. It lets us give a 0 turn for tight areas. So if that tire turns all the way to one way, one drive tire is going forward, the other drive tire is going backwards, it spins on itself. The other thing is it forces drive at correct speed, so on icy environments, one tire is turning faster as you're making a left turn, right tire is turning faster, left tire is turning slower at the right speed. So the steer tires aren't fighting traction tires that are trying to get them to slip out of control. We figure a tug moving a multi-million-dollar airplane shouldn't be slipping out of control because the tug isn't smart enough to manage the tires. So in this weight and class category, there's nobody that's offering this kind of dual drive with force steer commands. Okay, here's another one, electric lift. I hate leaky, oily spills in my hangar. They're slippery, they're dangerous, they look bad. They force you to buy incredible best scrubbers from the Best Aviation Products family. Hey, Casey, maybe we rethink about those hydraulics. But the actuators on our lifting bucket is fully electronic geared actuators. There's no maintenance, there's no cleanup, there's no leaks, there's no changing oil. The other thing it does, we can actually watch the current on those motors as they lift an aircraft, and down the road we'll be able to tell you right on the screen how heavy that nose wheel is, just because that's cool. No chain design. The hubs are fully sealed, they're waterproof, there's no chains going from an electric motor to a differential to drive this. The problem with chains is you get backlash, they wear out, and now that backlash, as you're pushing an aircraft and then letting off the throttle and pulling back, that backlash it translates to a slam of the nose gear. Instead of rolling down and slowing down smoothly, the plane freewheels until the chain pulls tight and you have a big impact, and those loads are really high. And then even our steering system is fully geared system, so there's no change, there's no maintenance, there's no stretching a chain and readjusting it every year. We're almost done. Prop safe. That is, right there is a propeller damaged on another brand of tug. These 5 and 6 blade props don't fit. And the tugs have very sharp edges. They are like knives. The problem is you get people who are either damaging the wingtips because they're so worried about hitting the prop with the tug, or they damage the prop because they're so busy worried about the wingtips. So let's help them not worry so much about the wingtips. We have 7 times the clearance of our closest competitor on their smallest tug, and that's on our biggest tug for prop safety. And then our edges are flat, so if the prop bumps into a big flat surface, not a sharp squared edge knife. So it has a much better chance of just bouncing off, going, whoops, that was close. And as an option, we have prop alerting. So if a prop gets within 3 inches of the tug, an alarm on the tug goes off to let you know that prop is about to hit the tug. And I think it's better to know the prop's going to hit the tug than the tug. Because our Sierra line starts at 50,000 and they run up from there. That one repair and engine inspection was over $50,000 for that FBO. That one plane, and it happens every single week. Ask any prop shop. Gear up landings is not what damages props. Tugs damage props. Okay, mobile store on the back of this. Someone said it looks like a $2,000 toolbox on the back of that. Well, we think it can make at least that. That mobile store on the back can be filled with mobile oil, windshield cleaner, your regular oils. Instead of it just disappearing from the FBO, why not have the line guy, when he pulls up, say, would you need some oil? Yes, I've got these, all the major brands right here with you, and they can just enter a code, it unlocks the back of the store, they can distribute the product, and away you go. And I think you'll sell a lot more oil that way, because pilots, we forget, and then we get the next FBO that has the best time. Rainproof storage. I just have never understood seeing puddles of snow and ice in these big heavy equipment. Why not keep it rainproof? And you'll notice they're also lit. So as they open up, and the lighting inside those is so you can see everything that's there. They're completely sealed off. You can put stuff in there, it won't rust, get dirty, or covered in snow, whether it's wheel chocks or tools or anything else. And there was something else really cool about it. I forgot what it was. I was going to say something cool. Imagine something cool. Oh, there's 3 colors of LED lights. It's not really that cool, but I did remember it. We do the lighting in red because it doesn't hurt the night vision, but it's kind of cool. We also do it in white. It's the whole strip, so no matter what you put in the toolbox, it can't block a light and then make everything else dark. The light goes all the way full length to the toolbox. We do it in red, and we do it in white, and we do it in blue, and those are your 3 choices because America. Maintenance-free batteries. I got to start going quick. We're going to wrap this up. We don't use a spec battery that you can't buy anywhere and you have to pay way too much money for. Our batteries are batteries you can go buy yourself and pay a normal rate for. And we use a sealed battery. It's a lot more expensive up front for us, but what it means to you is that when the battery does eventually go bad, it doesn't leak acid all over your hangar and ruin your nice painted floors or permanently stink up the whole shop because the battery's overbloated and pumped acid all over. So, and you don't have to top them up. I think maintenance free is good. Garmin inside. You've seen the FBOs have the handheld radio. Who here can actually hear those line guys when they're on those little handheld radios? Nobody, right? They're 3 watts if the battery's fully charged. The radios in our airplanes are 10 watts. This has a 10-watt radio built into it. It runs right off the touch screen. You can monitor 2 frequencies, enter your codes, enter your favorite frequencies. You have a push to talk button right on the side of the throttle, so while you're driving, you can communicate. And with 10 watts of Garmin power, they will actually hear you say, come follow me, I'm off your right wing, and look for the red nav light because it's the best type. Okay, Smart Air. So it has built-in air compressor, but more than that, no one likes to sit under an airplane for a long time. It's a pain in the butt, my back hurts and my knees are old. So you hook the tug up to the airplane, you enter on that digital touchpad the tire pressure you want, and it takes over. It'll take the tire up to that pressure, it'll turn off, it'll look at them again, maybe add a little bit more and shut back off. Then you just go to the next tire. Just a nice thing that you can do for your pilots. But I think if pilots are well taken care of, I think they come back and buy more fuel. I've always been that way. So Smart Air is built in, and a built-in camera. Because when there is an incident or an event with the tug, the insurance company certainly wants to see some footage of it. The owners of the FBO want to see some footage of it. And you know, the pilots themselves might actually want to see. So we do recording that you can see and look at any time and see what was happening with the tug and the aircraft and hookup. And hopefully those videos result in just better training before there's ever even an incident. Guys, thanks so much. We are a little bit different. Our business model from the start of this company is if we could be 10 to 20% more money and provide twice the product and service, we'd be the best value out there. Our sales and all your support has certainly proven that to us over the last 6 years. Thanks
Well,
so
when
much.
we started this
Please
process, I
consider
got a
new
pretty good
best
spot
Sierra
to stand, and then their cameraman got right in front of me, and I said, "Don't worry, I got a big long selfie stick."
So you can park on the ramp and not roll away. You have your push and pull here, so when you drive it, this one's the throttle, and that's all you have to worry about your directions. This one, if you switch directions mid, it will bring itself to a nice slow stop, and then ramp up, and then ramp up. And it's never going to do a hard stop unless you press the emergency. And even then, it's going to bring it to the slowest stop possible. Fastest and slowest. Fastest stop at a slow stage. Makes sense, right? And then we have our LED light right here. Yeah, so right now it's in a push, so I'm bring it back on.
We make our V5 or Alpha. We're releasing today at 1:30 for Sierra. So change that mark.
Yep, your high and your low.
Doing everything electrically.
The high is
Everything we have.
2-3 mile an hour speed, which is brisk.
Cessna 185.
185?
Yeah, so empty weight's 1900.
1900. This would be the perfect one for you guys.
Yeah, and is it battery powered? And so you just charge the battery, but
Yep, fully electric. It comes with 2 batteries in it. They're 12-volt batteries. You just charge it, and then so you'll just turn it on, and you'll hook it to the nose of your plane, the nose wheel.
tail.
Tail, yeah, tail in your case, and then it just goes forward, and it just does it all for you. So there's like no effort on your side. You're just guiding where it needs to go.
I haven't seen this before. What were they usually sell for in stores?
So our tugs, we have a special show price going on right now of $2,600. They're generally about $32. So we just got special price right now just for the show and everything. So we love Oshkosh so much. But yeah, those are what